Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a show for you guys here today, man. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel here. So, yesterday, we had finished producing our content for the day, right? We're just kind of combing through the internet, seeing what was out there. Then I came across a segment from ESPN First Take, and it was featuring, I can see in the thumbnail, Stephen A. Smith, JJ Redick, and Kendrick Perkins. And the minute I saw that thumbnail, I already knew what I was in store for. Why? Because of what had been happening, during the buildup. What am I talking about? As y'all know, Kendrick Perkins went on, ESPN First Take about less than a week ago, last week, I would say, to make a certain point about the voting in the MVP race. What is the criteria that these guys are voting on? He pointed out some discrepancies in his eyes. So that was the first thing. And I was like, okay. And they knew, in this case, ESPN and the producers and all of these guys, they knew that JJ Redick was going to have some pushback. So at the end of that segment, they were saying, man, we wish we had JJ on today. We wish we had JJ on today. And then Stephen A. Smith was like, yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, next week, I'm going to set it up for both of you guys to be in studio, because I think they're in studio on different days. I'm talking about Kendrick Perkins and JJ Redick. So yesterday, they found a way to get both of them in studio. And what ensued was just absolute and total fireworks between these two gentlemen. So before we go too far, because there's a lot, we want to play some of the, the heated moments between these two guys here yesterday. And then we're going to really get into this particular show, because I got a lot of things I want to say that you definitely do not want to miss. Take a listen to that there.
I want to touch on something that they didn't bring up. This idea that Dirk and Steve Nash were favored to win the MVP because they're white. First of all, you stop short at 1990. That was your cutoff point for players to win MVP not in the top 10 in points per game, which is a stupid stat to judge MVP on. This isn't middle school. 1990, Magic won it. 89, Magic won it. 87, Magic won it. 87, he was 10th. 89, he was 15th. 90, he was 18th. Okay. We judge MVP year to year. You also said the criteria or the goalpost change year to year for certain players. No, it doesn't. We vote on the MVP. Hold on. We vote on the MVP based on that season. We vote on the MVP based on that season. It is a regular season award. Previous playoff runs have nothing to do with it. It's a regular season award for the most valuable player. And we can measure that, Perk. So maybe voters have gotten smarter. I want to talk about Dirk and Nash real quick, and I'll let you jump in. Dirk Nowitzki led the league in win shares in both 06 and 07. Led the league in offensive win shares in both 06 and 07. So yeah, he wasn't top 5 or whatever he was, top 10 in scoring his MVP season. The Dallas Mavericks were 67 and 15. They had the best record in the NBA. In 05, Steve Nash was the driver of the number 1 offense in the league, a team that jumped 20 wins and had the best record in the NBA. Okay. In 06 to me is one of the weirdest MVP seasons ever. You could make an argument Nash probably shouldn't have won it, but he was still the driver of the number 1 offense in the league. The 2 best teams that year, the Detroit Pistons, 64 wins, the San Antonio Spurs, 63 wins. Guess what? They didn't have a top, their top scorers weren't in the top 20 in the
probably win 8 games. Okay, so let's make that very, very clear. Now, since you want to talk about when I was saying and preaching about moving the goalposts, the reason I asked that question was for the simple fact that what I'm saying is I don't know the criteria no more. I don't know if it's because it's the number 1 seed. I don't know if it's the number 6 seed. I don't know how you judging it. Is we judging off of advanced stats or who's the most valuable player? You take them off this team. We don't know. We don't know, but we do know this. Since you do want to bring it up, we do know this, that when it comes to MVP voting, 80% of the voters are white American. 20% are others. I know that stat. If you want to talk about advanced stat, I do know that.
I want to just say something. Stephen A., I mean no offense to you, and I mean no offense to First Take, because I think this show is extremely valuable. It is an honor to be on this desk every day. It really is. But what we've just witnessed is the problem with this show, where we create narratives that do not exist in reality. The implication, what you are implying, that the white voters that vote on NBA are racist, that they favor white people. You just said that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That is exactly what you implied, Kendrick Perkins. That is exactly what you implied. Secondly, hold on.
I did not call. I stated the facts. And you're not about to sit up.
We all know what you implied the other day. We all know what you implied just now. Hold on.
I stated it's the facts. It's the facts. It's the facts.
Okay.
Secondly, no one said that players don't stat pad. No one said that players aren't aware of their stats within a game. You're talking about Giannis doing it. Mm-hmm. That has nothing to do with Nikola Jokic. My point that I made the other day, which is a valid point and which I will stand by, is that Nikola Jokic does not care. What he cares about doesn't fit your narrative. So your narrative to discredit him somehow, to discredit what he's doing, it's not based in reality, Perk. And no one is disrespecting Giannis. No one is disrespecting Joel Embiid. Look, earlier in the season, you could have made an argument for Luka for MVP. You could have made an argument for Tatum. Right now, 65 games, with 17 to go, there's 3 guys you can make an argument for. And they all have valid arguments. Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic, they all have valid arguments. Nobody's discrediting them. What is the evidence? I want to know.
JJ.
Because this is what you do. You're implying something. You're saying something. Jokic stat pad. No, he doesn't.
No,
white voters favor white Europeans. No, they don't.
No.
That's what you're saying.
No. What I made,
and clarify for me. I'll listen.
Fact of, I didn't. Time out. What I made a statement on was that I said it happens around the league. Along with Jokic, people knows what goes on. And for you to sit up here and for you to come on here and you to say, that's not who Jokic is. Like, how in the hell do you know how another man is feeling inside? That's what I want to ask you. How the hell you know? A pair of lips could say anything.
So listen, hold on, time out. Because his teammates are around him every day. Because I talked to Mike Malone, who's been around him 8 for 8 years.
How would they,
You can learn a lot by listening. You can learn a lot by listening to people. How they talk about people.
Nobody knows how somebody feel. Nobody knows how somebody feeling inside.
So you heard the exchange. Now let me sit back and get ready to unleash on this topic. As y'all know, or some of you know, about 2 or 3 days ago, we produced a show on our channel that was centered on a conversation that was had on the Draymond Green podcast featuring Draymond Green himself and Gilbert Arenas. And they were kind of reacting to the comments that Kendrick Perkins put forward about the MVP voting. And then it started to veer off into, why aren't European players put under the same amount of scrutiny that Black American players are, face in the NBA and the with the American media and all of that. And in that particular show, one of the biggest points I made was, and I'm going to make it again, was simply, what are y'all trying to do right now? where is all of this going? Where are you taking, what point are you driving at right now? Are you guys, to quote myself, are you guys trying to fracture and separate the fan base? Where you have this group against this group. Like, I was like, so why really are you guys really doing this? I said never before in the past was this a conversation until now. But it seemed like Gilbert Arenas and Draymond Green were trying to push this thing towards a racial angle. And I didn't like that. The reason I didn't like that was because I don't believe there was, I don't believe their point of views were merited. I didn't understand what the basis of it, was really. It looked like they were trying to reach. Now, some people out there who are hypersensitive to these type of things, they were like, no, I don't really see what the issue is. I don't really see what the problem is. You're not looking at this the right way. It even went so far, believe it or not, for some people in the public to begin to question my origins, believe it or not. Some people were like, he's talking like as if he's an American. Believe it or not. They were like, he's not really an American. Imagine. These people started turning into immigration officers. Some even started telling me they know where in America I live. This is what was happening. And a good amount of the audience that we have here were absolutely confounded by what these guys were saying. So yesterday, when I heard JJ Redick utter the words, Stephen A. Smith, I got a lot of respect for you. I respect this platform. I respect this show. But I feel like at times we are on here creating false narratives of things that do not exist in reality. And I literally almost fell off my chair. For anybody to suggest that what's going on in the NBA, there's some type of racial angle to it, they're being disingenuous, number one. Number two, they're trying to do what Draymond Green and Gilbert Arenas were trying to do, which is stir up the fans and get people going at each other for what reason I do not understand. I don't know what is constructive about that. I don't get it in that particular. And you know, there are going to be some people, before I continue my point, there are going to be some people watching this right now and going to be saying all kind of stupid stuff. Like, thank God, whenever you publish a video on YouTube, if you don't delete it, it remains up. For anybody here that wants to question or what, go look at my track record on issues that pertain to blacks. Go look at the videos that we produced on Kyrie Irving. It's right there. So I know some of you guys want to have selective amnesia, because you know the thing about selective outrage. Y'all want to act like y'all don't know what you know before you even go down that road. The evidence and the receipts are on the channel. No bozo talk will be tolerated here today. Back to my point. They're trying to stir up all of this. So anyone that's trying to do that is just looking to rile people up and get people going. Here's the fact of the matter. And this is not, there's no conspiracy here. The fact of the matter is this. 73%, roughly 73% of NBA players are of African American descent, or let's call them black players. 73%, which means that out of every 10 NBA players, 7 of them are black. 16.8% of them are white players, and 3.1% of them are Latinos, and 0.4% of them are Asian players. So, whenever you see them talking about black players constantly, it has nothing to do with them trying to be racist. It's just that there are more of them to talk about. That's all it really is, folks. If you watch MLB baseball, a good amount of them are of Latin descent. So if they're going to be covering the game and talking about the game, chances are players of Latin descent are going to be talked about quite a bit. Does it mean they're racist? Well, you tell me. You tell me. The other point I want to touch on before we close here is what JJ Redick said about ESPN trying to stir things up. I think ESPN got what it wanted out of that segment, which was ratings. Oh, it was definitely must-see TV. 100% must-see TV. They achieved that masterfully. They got people watching. They got people talking about it. People all over the internet are talking about it. So for them, it was a win. Stephen A. Smith, at certain points during that exchange, he seemed a little bit uncomfortable. But hey, he was the maestro of that particular segment. And he said that he wanted the two of these gentlemen on the show together. So for ESPN, I believe it was a win-win. Because ultimately, they're going to make their money. They're going to make their money. To me, I think it is unproductive to have these type of conversations about the NBA. It is absolutely unproductive. You cannot tell me that the NBA is a racist league with as much coverage as they give to LeBron James. It don't work. It doesn't really work to me. If they're why were they promoting Michael Jordan so much? Why would they be promoting John Morant or all these other players? I think the NBA is in the business of making money, and they're gonna promote whoever they think is good. Black, white, Serbian, whatever. So to me, I didn't understand the purpose of all of that. I think that these guys were trying to separate people and get people fighting. That's what I think, because I cannot understand what other reason they were trying to make. What other reason? And there's some people that really get off on that. And if you, as a black person, don't join them in that particular crusade, they'll turn on you too. They're not really for the people. They're all for their agenda. That's all it is. Because they will turn around, because remember, we're doing this for black folks. They will turn around and insult and step over black folks on their pursuit to doing whatever the hell that they want to do. Hence, me being questioned. Me being questioned if I'm an American. Me. By black people. Me.